Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another Spider-Man effects video. This is your boy here, Mikey Wilson, aka the Spiderdad. Okay, let's get straight into it. So here's my original clip, me jumping up and down, landing like a superhero. Nice and slow motion. I have 3 clips here, all from the same clip. The car moving, the superhero, and the clean plate all play a crucial role in this actual edit. So I want to switch the time remapping on the superhero. I want to make it so that it's from fast motion to slow motion. Okay, so to do that, we select a keyframe at the point that we want it to start the slow motion, and then we drag the first keyframe a little bit closer so that it actually is a nice normal pace again, essentially, to then slow motion. Okay, great. So there's the top of the jump there. We need to find the top of the jump so that just before he starts making his way down to the ground, the superhero, we need to find that and actually trim up to that point. Okay, so that's looking pretty good there. Okay, so what we need to do now is duplicate the layer, the same layer. I'm going to call this superhero mask. I'm going to switch off the original layer and concentrate on the mask section. We need to now do a mask around the entire superhero. So I'm going to speed through this because it's quite time consuming. So I'm just doing this very quickly, but do pay attention to it. Do try and do it as best you can to get the optimum. Purely for the tutorial, I'm doing this as quickly as I can. So we have all of our masks selected, and as you can see, the clear plate is actually helping with that because it's now separate. I've separated the superhero from the layer. Now what we need to do is frame by frame move me closer to the floor so that we up to the point of just before landing. Okay, I'm just going to speed through this as well. Very time consuming, but do spend some time on that. And as you can see, all the markers, all the keyframes are following that. Okay, brilliant. So everything is now looking pretty good. I'm just going to add a keyframe there at the end, at the point, and at the beginning. I'm just going to move me out of frame. So this will give a nice superhero landing feel. Okay, and if you add some motion blur to it, you select the motion blur icon, it will then nicely blend into the shot, making it look more seamless, making it look a little bit more real. Okay, just going to extend that so we can see that a little bit. Now I'm going to actually speed that up a little bit. So I'm going to say, yeah, that'll do. And then I'm just going to move the keyframe a little bit so that the actual speed of him coming down towards the floor is a lot quicker, adds a bit more power to the actual superhero landing to make it look a little bit more real and a bit more authentic. Okay, so now the car moving section, you need to find the point where the car moved, and to do that I just simply stalled my car. So to do that, we find the point where it's actually moving and we marry it up with the point of the landing so that, as you can see there, it's literally looking like a bit of a wave of power that's just hit the car. Okay, so we're going to pre-compose all of those layers. Here we go, that'll do. Hit OK, and now we have that all completed. All the markings, all the masking's done, and the car is in the right place with the power. So I'm going to now add some cracks to that. So I've got a couple of cracks here. I'll leave a description and below with all the links to the cracks if you want them. Now we need to pick a crack that's suitable for your particular project, and then you change the mode to hard light. Okay, we'll probably rescale that to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then we're going to change it to a 3D layer. Okay, this will allow me to just rotate it just to make it look a little bit more believable on the ground, and the fact that the ground is actually cracking. Okay, we're looking pretty good there. We're going to add some keyframes here, and we're going to actually do like a circular keyframe. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to expand this to make it look like the cracks, as soon as he hits the floor, the cracks expand throughout and start to expand and get larger. Okay, to do that, we're going to use keyframes. So we're going to add a keyframe here, and then we're going to move it along a few frames, 3 or 4 frames, and then what we're going to do is we're going to then expand the mask so that it covers or reveals all of the crack. And there we have it. So starting to look a little bit more real now. So what we're also going to do is we're going to add some feather to it. We're going to increase the feather to that because making sure that the edges match up with the rest of the clip. Okay, so we're looking pretty good there. Now we're going to get into some debris. Okay, so this is going to add a little bit more realism to it, as if some of the ground is actually coming off the floor, giving a bit more of a powerful look. So we're going to choose which one we want from Video Copilot. I'm going to add that to the frame, and then we're going to use linear color key to actually take out the background to make it look a bit more easier to, a bit more realistic to that. But we also have a little bit of dark areas around the actual rocks, so we're going to adjust the tolerance there a little bit. I'm just rushing through this, so please do spend more time to make it look a little bit more realistic. We need to actually make this particular footage fit the comp, but we'll do that in a moment. So we're going to add some more. I'm going to put that on top of the layer. Change the names to Debris 1 and Debris 2. Okay, just going to match that up. Okay, so far so good. We're going to actually transform to fit the comp. And we're going to position that, add a linear color key. Okay, so looking good. Change about 10, that should be all right. And then we're going to position the debris to fit the composition. What we're also going to do is we're going to add some opacity so it actually blends in a little bit more, because the beginning of that original clip doesn't quite suit what I want. So I'm just going to take off a couple of clips and actually just use the opacity to have it blend into the actual project. I'm going to have some curve adjustments now, which should help blend it into the composition a little bit better, make it match the background. Add a bit of blue there, maybe change some red there. You know, just have a play. I mean, it's entirely up to your particular project. Okay, I'm going to do the same for both of those layers. Okay, so starting to look a little bit more powerful now. Okay, we're going to add the dust element now. I've already pre-cut my particular section I'm interested in. I'm going to put that on the top. I'm going to go to Transform, Fit the Comp, and going to change the mode to Screen. Okay, so that's looking really nice now. So it's actually masking quite a lot of the imperfections, which is really nice. Let's add a curve adjustment and make it fit and look a little bit more like it's part of the composition. So we're just going to change some of the blue, some of the red, and just try and make it match. That looks quite nice there. Happy with that? Lovely. Okay, cool. Now we're going to speed that up a little bit because I want the smoke to almost have a similar impact to the ground breaking apart as well. There we go. That's better. Now I'm going to duplicate the debris to make it stand out a little bit more, make it a little bit more realistic. It's going to be a bit darker because there'll be more of them. So I've duplicated those and I'm going to pre-compose those. Okay. Yeah, that's really looking quite nice. Now I'm going to add a curve adjustment to this to try and match up the debris a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit dark so that it's a bit more obvious. But as ever, do spend more time than I am to make it fit your particular project. This is purely just a tutorial basis. Okay, so that's looking pretty good now. I'm going to add a fast blur to that. That will actually help just blend it into the actual composition a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to save that and make sure all your projects are saved. Now I'm going to add an adjustment layer so we can actually color correct the entire clip, make it a little darker. You know, there we go. Change some blue, make it a bit blue. I like to give it a bit of a filmic-ish look as best as I can, but like a dark bluish kind of look. I'd say dark, more of a lightish blue. Change some of the red, adjust the RGB a little bit, and I'm actually going to add some more contrast to this as well. There we go, that's a little bit better. But it's popping a little bit with the colour, so I'm also going to desaturate this a little bit, so I'm going to add that. Hue and saturation add to that, and that's looking really nice. Good, and now we can then start thinking, okay, let's put some wide bars on. So we're going to go layer new solid. Let's rename this wide bars, wide bar 1. Duplicate that layer, change that to wide bar 2. Then we're going to change that layer, change the solid settings and adjust the height to 860. It might be a little bit different than that, but this is just for tutorial basis. Then we're going to change the mode to alpha inverted. Now we're going to pre-compose every single layer apart from the wide bars. Let's do main edit, we'll do for now. We're going to give a little bit of a camera shake, so we're going to add an expression. So we're going to add the slider control, and then we're going to go to position, and then on hold Alt on the position stop clock, hit that once, and then in the text area hit wiggle, open parentheses, 10, 5, whatever you want, and use the comma, then use the pick whip to the slider, and then close the parentheses, and then start adding the keyframes to start at the point of when he's actually going to hit the floor. So he's going to shake, 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 and then sort of fizzle it out, so our keyframe quite further up to 0. So as you can see, there's actually it's cropping in there a little bit, so we're going to need to play with the scale. So let's hit the scale S on the keyboard and just adjust the scale to fit so that it doesn't actually crop in when it's actually shaking. And there we have it. You've literally just got yourself a superhero landing. I hope it's been really helpful for any projects that you're working on and you might need to use these particular skills and this particular effect. But as ever, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.